Yes, Akshay.
Yes, Akshay.
And I'm happy, like, whenever you feel anything, you can stop me and you can talk. I'm really happy to go with the interactive sessions. And there will be like whatever kind of things you can ask, we can discuss over here. Okay. So as we everybody know why data is important. Like data is important. Like we heard this terminology or this things on the internet, like data is oil. Mm, Data, out of the data only we can take the business decisions. Like leadership require the data, but that data, if it is in a raw format, that will not useful. So like what this team is saying here, there is some leadership team is saying, sitting over here, and they're saying let's shrink a big data into the small data and hope it magical magically become a great data. So everything about the data platforms like data engineering, data analytics, data science, this all they are trying to create some magic out of that data. So when I say the magic, it is not mean to mean magic exactly, but we are getting a some inputs or some insights which is helpful for the business decision. That's something we are trying to get from the data. Magical or great data, what things we required over here? We required we need to clean our data. Like we need to convert our big data into the small magical and great data. So everywhere we have a bad data, like, so we have to figure out like what is a bad data and we have to remove that, and out of that we should get the good data. So for that the basic thing is like data cleaning or some other words like which is on internet, like we can say data cleaning, data transformation, data cleaning, data transformation, or maybe I can say cleansing, whatever like terminology we want to use, we will use that over here. So basically, data cleaning cycle, what say, take a data, maybe the different tables are there, merge those data sets, rebuild the missing datas, standardize, remove the duplicates, verification of like data, and explore your data. This is something a cycle about the data cleaning. Hope I am trying to explain you the basic understanding about the data. If anybody have any question, they can ask. Maybe Anupam, like as you mentioned, you have a 5 years of experience with the no data experience. Like definitely you can ask, and there will be no any question which is a silly question. All the question will be addressed by me.
Sure, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Anupam. So we'll just move into the MS Fabrics. But before going on to MS Fabric, I'll say like in a data we have a different things like data engineering. Data engineering nothing but what I'm saying about the data cleaning, like convert our data from big data or bad data to the good data. Then we have a data analytics. Data analytics is nothing but whatever good data we created, based on that, show some visualization, give some insights from the data. Apart from that, we also have a data science. Data science is nothing but whatever historical data we have, based on that, predict the futuristic data. So these are the three main pillars in the data world right now, and everything about data is roaming here and there for these three main pillars. So in this course, like data engineering things, which is taken care by the MS Fabric, those we are going to take care. Data analytics, which is taken care by the Power BI. Nowadays, Fabric is the advanced Power BI, I can say. Power BI, those also we are going to take. And data science, little bit we are going to touch. Like if I have this data, let's say we say weather forecasting. So how the weather forecasting done? So we have millions of historical data, 10 years or 20 years of historical data. Based on that, we forecast the weather. Similarly, in a business also, like I have, let's say I'm running a one retail shop or the chain of retail shop, and based on my sales, company can decide if this shop should be continue or should we close? Like, should we shut down or not? That kind of critical decisions will taken care by the historical data. So, this all three pillars, like which I said, data analytics, data engineer, data science, this all comes together where we can work on one platform, which is nothing but the Microsoft Fabric. So as per the Microsoft, this is the terminology which they have mentioned in their website. Microsoft Fabric is an end-to-end analytics uh, and data platform designed for enterprise that required a unified solution. It encompasses data movement, processing, ingestion, transformation, real-time event routing, and report building. It's offer a comprehensive suite of the service include data engineering, data factory. It is nothing but the part of data engineering where we will do uh, ETL transformation. ETL is nothing but a extract, transform, and load. So we'll see that in the details, like how we will use a data engineering, sorry, data factory, or like Power Query, or I'll say data flows Gen 2. This we'll see in the details in the next classes. Data science have a huge, I can say, it's a huge actually data science, and there we have a different like data science. When I say the data science, like moment when I say data science, in it will comes in my mind, or maybe you guys also see on internet, like machine learning, artificial. These are all fancy words like machine learning, artificial intelligence, quantum machine learning. These things you can see that comes under the data science. But I'll say traditionally it is nothing but a statistic. Like 1980s, when actually data science was started, that time it was not a data science, it is a statistic, which we are doing from the ancient times, like very old time we are doing forecasting and all these things. Those comes under the machine learning and artificial intelligence. And one more thing is there, like real-time analytics. Might be you heard about the Custo query language or Azure Data Explorer, which is a part of the Azure, like one of the item of from the Azure, where event-based or the sensor-based data, which we actually do analytics based on that. Like there is a one website, and how many users are continuously visiting, what they are doing. Based on that, we can identify like potential customers. So this kind of analytics comes under the real-time analytics. Then data warehouse is nothing but traditional warehouses and databases. It is nothing but the databases like traditional databases. But here we just call as a in a previously before Fabric we use like Azure Data Gen 2 lakes, Azure Data Lakes storage, which now we say here is a one lake. Any question? Or anyone like for facing any difficulties to understand the basic
Uh,
of the Fabric?
Akshay, what is the difference between one lake and lake house?
Okay, one lake. See, I am talking about the Azure Data Lake Gen 2, which is nothing but a storage account where my data is getting stored in the compressive format. Same thing in a Fabric, we have a one lake. So the whatever things I do and save that data in some destination, that is nothing but a one lake. So and the backend, if you see in the backend, it is same like a Gen 2, like Azure Data Lake Gen 2. But here I'll call as a one lake. And I'll explain in the further classes like why one lake and what is the capacity and all the roles and capacity and licensing we'll see. That time I'll explain this will be in a brief. Hope this is clear.
Okay, actually, I want to know that Fabric is a visualization tool or what?
No, Fabric is not only visualization tool. Fabric is integrated with this all the items like data factory. Data factory is nothing but a ETL tool. Data engineering nothing but like a process the data, transformation of the data, or I can say clean the data, or medallion architect I'll say. Then data warehouse where actually I store my data, like I'll get from the source data and save into the data warehouses. Data science where I can experiment my data science machine learning models. I can write a Python code over here, real-time intelligence, which I said like event-based or the sensor-based data. And when you're saying about the visualization, Power BI, this is also comes under the Fabric nowadays. Like, so Fabric is not only the visualization tool, Fabric is the tool where we can do all these things together, like one place where you we can do, like before Fabric, if I'm using a Microsoft products or Azure products, I need to get this all separate licensing, like data factory separate, data engineering. When I say like Azure data bricks separately, I have to get the licensing. Then I need a Gen2 storage accounts also. So this was separate, but with the Fabric, one umbrella, we are getting all these things.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay. So this is I'll say like in a common word, this is nothing but okay, one second, let me just make this a little bigger. This is nothing but medallion architect. When I say the medallion architect, might be you heard about this, or the data engineering architect also, in a simple word I can say. So where we have a like a data lake, like where we have a different storages, different layers, I'll say. So basically what happened, anything like any data analytics or data science project, we required us good data in the backend. Based on that only we can visualize the data. So to prepare that good data, data engineering comes. So I'll say from this to this part here, from here ingest to model part, semantic model, this all comes under the data engineering. So in the data, and this part like where Power BI is showing, this is comes under data analytics, and might be this data also used for the data science purpose. So let's say like when I say the source data can be anything: big data, streaming data, IoT devices, unstructured data, semi-structured data like JSON files, CSV files, or the relational traditional data, which is like a structured data. I'll say like SQL tables, or any relational databases. So we'll get this data, we'll ingest this data into the one lake. In the one lake, we will create a lake house. Like let's say it is a raw lake house, or maybe I'll say the bronze lake house, where as it is, I will uh, get my data and put in this lake house. And based on this raw data, I will do some uh, calculations or cleanup, like whatever cleanup we saw here, like merging a data sets, remove the missing data, remove the duplications, do some standardization, normalization of the data. Don't worry about the standardization, normalization. These are the words which is coming from the statistic basically. And if we required as per the project or as per the course, we'll do some kind of transformation. Not deeply will go into the statistic here. We'll go deeply into the data engineering, data analytical part, and mostly we'll stick with the MS Fabric. But don't worry about the any word about, maybe you all guys are experienced. I'm no, like it is not new for you, but just I'm telling like who don't know about it, like. So here like from the raw data as it is, I'll just ingest. One question like maybe comes like when I was the new for this, I said like why I will take as it is data into the bronze layer, why I will not directly connect with this and do the transformation, and I'll directly, like why I'll create this many layers like raw, clean, and presentation. So this is like I'll say a systematic purpose. Like we might heard about the manufacturing chain or something. So they do a one by one. Similarly here also data. I will not get as it is data. I'll not directly connect with my source data and I'll do the any transformation from that. I don't want to like uh, do any changes in my source data. Source data will be remain same as it is, because that is not changeable basically. So from here, we'll just do some cleanup, and then after cleanup, I'll big data to the small data, but magical data. How I'll do? I'll use some aggregation function. So whatever calculations I require to present here, I'll do that aggregations in my this zone. This is nothing but a gold zone we used to say, or presentation or curative zone, something. And once all the tables are ready over here, I'll create a some semantic model. Semantic model will see the in the details like this nothing but like the schemas like star schema, snowflake schema, or like connections between the fact table and dimension table. And based on that, I'll create a Power BI reports or dashboards, or this data I'll give it to data science team to do some more analysis. Like so here, like again, like when my data is I'm transforming, let's say I have a 10 years of historical data and I wanted to next 1 year of prediction. So to create that prediction data, I need a data scientist here, or I need a ML model. How I'll use this ML model? There is a different ways. Like I can use a Spark notebooks, which is nothing but a Python notebooks. Also I can use, or Gen 2 also I can use to do some predictions, or store procedures like this I can use and I can create. So in between also we can use some data like data science things like ML models. So this is how it is integrated everything in a one place, like basically. I think Prakash, do you got some basic clarification like how
Yeah,
actually we'll see what is a platform and all these things?
yeah. What I wanted to understand. See, Azure Databricks has launched something called Unity Catalog in 2022, late 2022, wherein we can map the same catalog to multiple workspaces of Azure Databricks. So, is one lake a similar offering with a similar functionality wherein we can map one lake to multiple workspaces?
Multiple workspaces. Like here, when we come into the workspace, there is a something different workspace terminology than the Azure uh, database you are saying. But yes, we can mount a Azure Databricks workspace into the one lake.
The Databricks workspace, I mean DBFS, right? You're saying.
Yes, DBFS we can mount.
DPF is mounting into a single workspace, and but it will give us a flexibility of mounting it into multiple workspace, multiple Databricks workspaces, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah, multiple Databricks workspace also
assigned
we can mount into the
entity.
one lake.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
we
similar to
can.
that, is Microsoft coming up with a new name, fancy name like One Lake, and saying that is it the same thing? Putting the old wine in a new bottle and selling it out?
No, 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 not that way. I'll say the no old model and new model. There is a something changes between the one lake and like a data lake,
Unit.
because one lake is come with the Microsoft Fabric. So if they called this in a Microsoft Fabric as a data lake, then might be some confusion, right? And there is some additional things also there, or maybe something different, because Fabric is like I can say a little bit cheaper than the old Azure data engineering architecture. I'll not say cheaper, but it is easy to access actually.
From a
Let's see.
costing perspective, Akshay,
Uh-huh.
how costly it is when we compare, when we bring in these
Uh,
ATF Databricks and sign up separately, and we basically use Azure system assigned managed identities and user assigned managed identity for secure access, right? So when we set up all of this integrated ourselves, how much will be the cost separately, and how much is Microsoft Fabric
costing
coming up?
part, Prakash, costing part. I don't want to like in the starting of the things like I'll work on the costing part,
No, to
but
take a decision, right, Akshay, we have to take a decision based on the cost, right? If there is
I'll
higher cost than the effort we put in integrating all of this, then no point going to Microsoft Fabric, right? First of all, we have to understand the cost benefit and what is the
want you to,
yeah.
I just wanted to, if you want to discuss about the costing things, I'll discuss with you separately about it. How the
Okay.
company will take the decision we should go for with the like Azure data engineering previously or Fabric. Those things I
Correct.
will talk with you later, because I don't want to it's very starting of the course, and I don't want to go in the costing part like right now. I
No,
would
before
want
we skill ourselves, after we skill ourselves, we realize there is no cost benefit. What's the point going through all this, right?
we'll
So
connect
that's the reason
separately.
costing should come before, right?
No, agree, but we'll connect separately for the costing part. I'll connect with you separately, because other guys might be like worried, like, "Oh, we are not started with the fabric, and what is the fabric costing part?" Because that is something different than the
No, no,
this.
Akshay, we have to understand this. Everybody needs to take a decision based on the cost. If you
Hmm.
don't even have the budget for an enterprise, why to learn those things, right? What is the difference delta we are getting? Okay, but anyways, ideally speaking, in a course, this should come first. Anyways, you can let me know later on. We'll discuss. We are open for a discussion.
Yeah, I'll get like there is some, like, if you see the licensing part, you'll see all the licensing and what is the costing for that. And I'm sure,
Yeah,
like,
that's
definitely Fabric is cheaper than the old thing like Azure Data. And another thing is, like, Fabric is for, like, one place where we want everything.
I know
See,
some conveniences will be provided by Microsoft, but what is that trade-off we have to
I'll
do
tell
in
you.
terms of cost?
Let's say, previously, if I wanted to do some dashboard or some reports in a Power BI, to prepare that
Okay.
data, I need a data engineers also with me, and they will have some different skill set like Azure Data Factory, Azure Database, and all these things, and with
Mm.
different licensing. So two-person were invested, but now one person can do all the things, because I have a one dedicated workspace where I can do all my data engineering things. I can do my data analytical things also.
So, Akshay, I mean, adding on top of it. So now, earlier we used to have a different teams working together to put together for getting this data and data engineering and data analytics. Now, since we are combining into one platform, so would like to understand for Microsoft Fabric to be a Microsoft Fabric specialist. So, what is the prerequisites one should have, or is there any prerequisites one should acquire to be eligible for this Microsoft Fabric specialist? Like, is there any background like knowledge of programming, Python, we said, or any other query-based languages for ETL? I just wanted to understand like prerequisites. It would be great if you can cover it up. That yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about the prerequisites, like for this course, I'm taking everything from the basics. But whom I can teach this, like who can go to the Microsoft Fabric, who have a basic understanding about the data, some experience in Excel, and some understanding about the programming language, like how the programming languages work. So although here, like, if I don't know any programming language, I am from the like a background where I did not touch any programming language, still there we can work using a data flow gen 2, which is nothing but a low code no code kind of things, like drag and drop things. Based on that, we can do a transformation of our data. Uh, but but there is a thing, like, we should have some little bit understanding about the programming language, like how the programming languages work. I'm not saying you should be a master, but just like I'll say x is equal to 1, then y, and y is equal to 2, then x plus y is equal to what. This is the mathematical things, similar things like in a programming language also. So we should have that understanding.
Akshay, one question here. The data flows part which you're indicating, right? The data flows basically it's like drag and drop. But when we look at the notebook, we have to write through the PySpark, right? Through the distributed computing architecture
There we
under the hood,
required a
right?
Python language. There we required a Python
Correct.
or Scala or this, like.
Correct. So when Spark is basically running everything in a distributed fashion,
Hmm.
uh, is data flow also performing the same similar functionality with the distributed computing under the hood?
Okay.
Or when the data explodes, do we have to use the notebooks eventually?
No,
Just
no, no.
wanted to understand.
Okay. Data flow, it's basically nothing but in a traditional way, I'll say the Power Query. And the data flow have their own in the back end, they have some own cluster and engineering, like cluster power. And that works based on the X velocity vertex database. So there is a some in the backend, there is a some like cluster is already dedicated for the data flows. So thing is, it is make the in the backend it will work same. Only thing is like it makes the easy to user to transform the data.
So then why are we introducing notebooks here? Notebooks will not make any sense when we already have data flows and there is a distributed architecture. Spark is already running under the hood and is taken care by Microsoft. Why are we still using Spark and notebooks
The Spark is
in
like, let's
Fabric?
say I want some predictions, like ML models I want to deploy. So those I cannot do with the data flow. Although I can do with the data flow also, but there is some limited capacity. So when I write the like it is a like free space for me, and I can write the Spark notebooks, whatever code I want, whatever machine learning modeling I use, I can write it over there. That is the benefits of the
Or you mean to say it is extensible, that we can do the existing data engineering and visualization, and also on top of it, we can do predictions and forecasting through data science and machine learning workflows.
Yes,
So
yes.
notebook
Because
is
see,
a impressive.
when I have access for the write a Python, world is mine. I
Uh-huh.
can do whatever like Python, which how much I can do it. I can write the code over there.
Okay, so if there are some features which are missing in Fabric, we can always use Python. So it is our
Yes,
flexibility therefore.
yes, 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 yes.
So it is recommended to go through the Python track rather than using the low code, no code. Maybe just for initial purposes,
For
maybe
this
we might
course,
use.
I'm not going to teach you the Python. It's your job, like because you know, like right, the every day there will be the new update in the Python, and as much you learn, that is limited. Like that, it will not over. So Python, I'm not going to teach you. Maybe I'll help you to show how the Spark job will be run in the Microsoft Fabric. But from the basic to I will not teach you the Python because it will. If I start, I'll need another session for that, like separate session.
So do we really need an expertise in the Python to be part of Microsoft Fabric Specialist program?
No, no, we did not need expertise in Microsoft Fabric because data flow itself have all kind of transformation. Like whatever transformation we want, we can do it using a data flow. But where Prakash is talking about to the notebooks and all these things, this is basically used for the machine learning purpose, like where I can predict the future.
Yeah, but Akshay, to be honest, after we get to see the actual data on a visualization dashboard through Power BI, won't the business leaders ask us to do the prediction on the data through statistics and probability or machine learning workflows? Obviously, they will ask, right, to automate the decision making process.
Okay, so it's depend on project to project. There is some project like based on the my whatever data I have, I want that in a visualization, or maybe there is
I
a
know
some.
project. Yeah, sorry. I know project scoping will be there for sure, but ideally speaking, when we think about it logically, the
Hmm.
evolution, the next evolution after we get to see the data engineering stuff, we will obviously have to do the forecasting, right? And then after we do the forecasting, then we have to host a model, then we have to do the inferencing, and all of those pieces have to be connected together with integrations, right? So,
Yeah.
don't you think Python and SQL, at least for data engineering, SQL should be required, right?
See, I'll tell you, when most depends, like your project is for the data science or for the data analytics. If it is a
I
project for
got
the data
some.
analytics, data science,
I
machine
have an
learning will come
end-to-end.
very, machine learning will come to the very less. And if it is a machine learning is coming altogether, you require some new developer who know the end to end, like unsupervised, supervised, artificial. If I talk about the forecasting, it will not go with the easiest forecasting, which is the Arima Sarima. We have to go with the
No,
some.
Arima Sarima is older, very old.
Yeah,
Obviously, nobody
that
will
is
look at
good one.
Arima Sarima time
So,
series.
so machine learning is something different. Like definitely, it's not a technology knowledge. It is your subjective knowledge. You have to start from the statistic and go for the art, like complete for the artificial intelligence till that. So you will not even you will use any ML model also. You will go for the deep learning model or something like. Sorry, class. Like I don't want to like make the too much confusion because it's a very big word and big things like.
No, but we have to do if there is accuracy reduction.
Learning is not endful. I'm going to teach you the tool. I'm not going to teach you the statistic, right? It's your capacity, how much you can learn.
Acha, so only you are bringing in the different facilities being provided by Microsoft Fabric. That is notebook feature,
Mhm.
ADF, Databricks, etc. But what runs inside the notebook, the code part you will not cover, right? So let's do the scoping properly. Okay.
Code part, no. Python code, basic understanding I'll give you here. But how much
Okay.
Python code you have to write, it is up to you, right, Prakash?
Yeah, because nowadays businesses wants predictions and they
But
want to host a model, they want to do
it
inferencing
is
all.
not like in 1 month and you will be a expert in data science, data engineering, data
No,
analytics,
no, no.
everything.
I'm
You
not
have to choose
expecting
one
one.
thing. You have to go for the if you want to go for the data science, definitely I'll say like this is not course for
No,
you for the
it's not.
data science.
It's in Indian market. To be honest, Akshay, people are bifurcating. Basically, when I go to US, when I talk to people there, they want end to end. They want data engineering, they want data science, they want machine learning, they want deep learning. After that, obviously, they would need natural language processing. They want us to develop small language models to inference from the data. And nowadays, we are having agentic AI, RAG systems. So end to end, the breadth of knowledge we have
So
in a particular technology, right from the data
I
ingestion onwards,
it's
obviously we'll add a lot of value proposition. I see a lot of audience who are having huge experience, 14 years, 16 years, 20 years myself. And if
but
we just come with
to reach
part of the
there,
knowledge,
to reach
don't
there,
you think?
to reach there, we have to start from somewhere, no? We have to start from somewhere. So maybe this is a fabric is the for them like who have to start. If you are saying Akshay, I have a machine learning knowledge, I can like tell you all kind of deep learning models very thoroughly like RNN, CNN and all these things, then I don't think so.
LLM.
Fabric is only you should go and explore where and how you will use it. Like if I
I
say
have
here
to
and I
use
will
Azure ML.
you all the deep learning and artificial intelligence, this is not for that particularly. This is like fabric, specifically for the fabric.
Mhm. Okay, okay, got it,
And
got it.
you understand what exactly I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you are fixing the scope to Fabric and that to not even code, just the offerings from Microsoft Fabric. That's it.
Yes, yes. Whatever Microsoft Fabric is
Inside
giving,
that, whatever concepts we implement, it is up to us.
it is up to you. Like Python code, which I say, maybe here I'll say like 2 3 liners code, I'll take it. But maybe your real-time project required 100 lines of codes. Those I'm not going to tell you here, right? It is your capability you, as a analytical skill, what you can do and what is your project requirement. When the project will start, you will be not alone over there. Maybe you're with you. There is a different
Okay.
technical will
So
be there.
on that, sorry,
Develop-
sorry to cut you, Akshay. So on that line, so you will be providing the foundation, right? Yeah, maybe we can go on top
We'll
of
jump
that
into that.
foundation and we will
I'll
build.
show you like what exactly I'm providing over here. I'll jump into
Okay,
that.
okay,
Maybe like instead of
okay.
uh,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
Yeah,
just to
just the table of
adding to the top
contents.
of what Prakash has asked. So exactly like you might be providing the foundation for it. So maybe it is for us to go and look into and enhance and enrich the skills further required in the project
No, no.
based on the
I will
needs.
give you the end-to-end fabric, but when you talk about the Python or Java or Scala or maybe a statistical language which is called R or SQL somehow basic will go, but you have to do expertise. Like as and when required, you have to make your own expertise on that. Let's say if I started learning a Python right now, it will take a time to learn, or maybe I have an experience of 10 years, still I am learning, I can say Python. It is not going to complete any time. There is no person who will say I know end to end in a Python, or I know end to end in a like Java, this kind of programming language.
What I meant is, at least on analytics domain, whatever are the cutting
Power
edge
BI I will
offerings.
take care. Power BI I will take care. Like whatever, like how you will get a data one place, what kind of transformation you can do it, and with that transformation how you will do your like a semantic model and how you'll visualize that data. This journey, these things I will show you end to end, and I
Yeah,
will give
Akshay,
you
and also, yeah, and also my sincere request is in case if you're not covering, you can straight away let us know that you're not covering. but
Yeah,
but let us know the references from where we can learn, at least the links, at least the books from where we can learn. If
definitely.
you give us a roadmap, we will take it from there on, so that at least everybody in the audience is aware of what is the next phase after we learn from you in Fabric, right?
Agree, agree.
We are
And
okay if you are scoping it, it's okay.
yeah, agree, Prakash. Absolutely agree. Because I will not promise you something which I'm not going to cover. Because
Yeah, let's be transparent. Yes, very
yeah,
true.
but
Let's be
definitely
honest.
with this course, I need whomsoever want to actually go into the fabric. Maybe I see everybody have a experience, but still they want to explore. They need to practice. Practice is the most important component over here. And the links and material, definitely as much as I have, I will provide you. Not only about the fabric or not only about the data engineering, as well as the data science. If anybody are really happy to learn the data science, those also links and material I will provide you.
Cool, cool. Perfect, perfect. Sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Akshay, will you cover that KQL language as well, which you said earlier?
Kusto query language.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, KQL language we are not going to cover. Let
Okay,
me just talk with the management about the KQL language. If they say,
mhm.
definitely I'll introduce that language also.
Okay.
I think KQL is very similar to
SQL.
SQL, I guess, just with slight
Yes,
changes
yes.
in syntax, right?
Little bit here
With a
and there.
pipe
But
command, we just
to
have to
create a
pipe it.
KQL, I need to create a separate environment for the real-time intelligence, and maybe I need to find out some IoT data or sensor data, something kind of thing. So that background I have to just discuss with the management.
I think that
Okay.
data is already available on learn.microsoft.com
I'll
website.
check
They're
that.
providing.
Yeah, I'll check that and I'll get you. But only thing is
Yeah.
I cannot
So,
introduce only little bit. I have to make the some project where you guys you feel useful
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Even though if you don't have the bandwidth, it's okay. You can just let us know the links. We will learn from there at
Okay.
least.
Definitely, definitely, no worries. You can see resource
Yeah, definitely.
sources are very much there is a material and source internet. You will get a number of sources where you can learn all these things. I can provide you. Don't worry about it. But thing is only how much you can put yourself. So I'll not make this discussion big. Maybe I will jump into the small, very basic things. How the data come and what is the output of that data. Something I'll show. So this is the page which I can say like app.powerbi.com or app.fabric.microsoft.com. Whatever I want, I will use. But here I'm using experience as a fabric. So when I open the fabric, this will look like this basically. And how to create an account in the next classes I will show you the how we should create an account and how you can use this, do all the practice on the Microsoft Fabric. In the next classes we'll see that one actually. But this is something account which I created, and currently I'm using a trial version which is valid for the 60 days. Now 59 days was left. So when I open this is a home page basically. When I click here, I have a different experience like which we talked previously, like Power BI, databases, data
Uh,
factory,
Actually, I
industry.
think we still see your PowerPoint. So if you are showing any other different screen, I
Oh,
am not
my
really
bad.
sure.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, my bad. Hope this is visible now.
Yep.
Yeah, we can see it.
So this is the home page of Microsoft Fabric. Although you can see the link as a app.powerbi.com, but experience is a fabric, or another link which is app.fabric.microsoft.com, which I can use it. So when I open this is my home page, and I have this all experience over here like Power BI, database, data factory, industry solution, real-time analytics, data engineering, data science, and data warehouses. Same thing I can see over here also. So I'll just click on the data engineering. So when I click on the data engineering, it will look like this. So maybe you might aware about the Power BI screen, which is look similarly to this one, but only the new thing is one leg over here. So when I open this, which is the place where I can create all these things. When I say create all these things, here we will say items. So when I say the items, it is nothing but like data factory, lake house, this all notebooks, this all terminology will go one by one. So when I say workspace is nothing but which is the place where all the developer come and create their items as and when required for the project. So for that, I'll just create a new workspace. So when I say the new workspace, I have to name something. So I'll say December 2024. Description, whatever we want, we will do it. Domain is an optional part. Like in the Microsoft, there will be a different domains. If this workspace is particular for the which domain, that I can mention over here. Currently, I will just leave as a I don't have any domain created over here, so I'll just keep it like that. Workspace image, I can upload any image which I want over here just for the see it. When I go to advanced, so contact list is nothing but in the organization different users are there. If any failure happen, like let's say any notebooks failed or any data flow is failed, there should be some notification goes to the contact person. So those list I can put it. Currently I am creating from this account, test account, so I am the owner of this workspace, so I'll be the contact. In future if any additional is there, those I can show. So licensing part, pro license, trial license, and premium per user license. So we'll talk about the licensing part in details in the further classes. And small semantic model storage format, large semantic storage format. This also we'll talk as and when we will go over there. And template apps also we'll talk about. But just remember till this how I create it. Remaining this part I will explain in the further classes as and when required. Again, the capacity, which is nothing but decided by uh, I can say admin team. And most of the time workspace creation work is also for the admin team, but for the information or the knowing purpose, I'm showing how to create a workspaces and where we are actually going to work. So I'll just create a workspace. Once I create the workspace, you can see here is a December 2024. How I can open this workspace? I'll simply go this website. It will show like this to me. I'll go to the workspace and all the workspaces I can see it here. I can pin also the same feature like Microsoft provide everywhere. Whichever, like let's say I have 100 of workspace, out of few only I am using, so I can ping over here. So once I open this workspace, I can see two split in a screen. One is this one. This is nothing but a flow. If anything I create, that I can show into the flow also. And here all the items which I am going to create. So when I say the item, this way I can create the items. So I can say copy job. Copy job is nothing but like copy a data from one place to another place, one database to another database. Before that, I'll show you like this all the items is segregated with the get data, store data, prepare a data, analyze and train a data, track a data, and visual a data, and develop a data, and some other things are there. So these things only will tell you get data. When I say the get data, ingest a batch and real-time data into the single location within your Fabric workspace. So it will say like ingest your data into your Fabric workspace. So let's say I'll go with the data flow Gen 2. So data flow Gen 2 is the latest one. Gen 1 is a previous one. There is some difference, slightly difference between these two, but we will going to use the data flow Gen 2. I'll click on the data flow Gen 2. So this is same. I can see here there's a Power Query. Data flow, which I mentioned, like data flow Gen 2 is nothing but a Power Query. So whatever transformation we have to do with our data, all transformation are available with this. Like group by, first use the first row as a header, transpose, reverse a row, count row. One by one we'll see all this kind of transformation over here. Split a column, format, all these things. Let's say I'll take one of the data and which data I wanted to. So if I go here, I'll have a more than 100 different connections over here. Like I can get a data from the Excel, I can get a data from the SQL Server, SAP HANA database, BigQuery, Redshift, uh, Data Mart. These are the Microsoft things only. Then KQL database, then Salesforce objects, Salesforce reports, Google Analytics, SharePoint list, all kind of data whichever available over here, those I can connect. Or if it is not available, with the ODBC connections also we can create also. But most of the data we is available over here. So currently I'll just maybe you guys are familiar with this data, Titanic CSV. I know it's a very boring data, but just I'm this data, Titanic. This is something CSV format. This is available on internet. I can get data which is open, like open source data also. I can connect with my Power data flows. I'll just hope you can see my screen, right?
No.
1 second.
Akshay, I think we still see your get data screen. If I'm
Okay.
maybe it's
Yeah. Now is it visible?
yeah, I can see now the browser. Yeah.
I'll show you. I know. Hope you guys are aware about this Titanic data, but I'll just show you. This is data which is available on internet. Maybe GitHub it is available. So this is a GitHub link only, and it is open for all of them. Like so, I'll just pull that data into my workspace. So I just selected. This is a CSV format data. Is the end I can see is a CSV. So I'll just go to the get data and more, and I'll just select the text or CSV from here, and I'll put the link. I'll copy that link and I'll put it over here. Then connection I'll skip as a unknown connection. There is no any credential required for this data. Then I'll not take any credential. I'll just say next. So whatever data is here, seeing this data, I can perceive this is a comma separated data. As it's saying as a CSV, it's a comma separated. So I'll say delimited as a comma. Is by default it is enough intelligent, that much intelligent power uh, data flow or Power Query have. They can sense it. But let's say like they're not able to sense it. So I can go and select like it's a comma separated. Just do it with the split with the comma. So this way I'll just do this, and I'll create a based on this I'll create one I can say like a data flow. So yes, here my data is there. I took, and whatever steps is applied, I can see it here. This is the source data, and then I'm saying promote first row as a header. If you see this data, first row is showing as a header, and header is showing column 1, column 2, column 3. So I want this one as a header. So when I want this one as a header, so I'll go here and I'll say in the transformation, I'll say use first row as a header. So once I click it, it is first row making as a header, and the whatever header was previously is there, those all removed. So that step I can see here, this one. So this is something like which I was saying like low code no code things. This is like you don't need to write any code, but if you want to really see if you are very code enthusiastic and you want to see what kind of coding is done in this backend, what the language we are using, So you can go into the advanced editor and see it here, all the steps. So this is the coding basically happens in the backend. And for this we call as a mashup language or M language. So this is nothing but like source is equal to, I'm creating a first variable which is called source, and I'm writing a csv.document in that web content. In the web content, I'm putting a whatever web is there. Delimited is a comma, and columns are 12. Encoding some coding things are there. Then next step is I'm saying after this I'm putting a comma, and next step promote a header. For the promote header, this is a like a coding I can say syntax I'm using, table dot promote header, and this is the source is nothing but the previous step I am using over here, and then saying a promote all the scalars is equal to true, which will be promoting the headers. So this is the backend which is happening, but you don't need to do any kind of coding in this. Everything is available here. So it is a low code no code things. Okay, I done the transformation. I have to load this data, I have to publish this data, I have to show somewhere this data. So I need some destination. So in the destination, what are the options I have? Lakehouse, warehouse, SQL database, Azure SQL database, or Azure Data Explorer. So Lakehouse is nothing but another item in this. I'll just create another item. I'll come to the workspace. This is my workspace which I'm using. I'll just go to home. Okay, they are saying before this close this query. So I'll just skip this here. I'll add the destination later, but I'll come here. I'll go to the workspace, December 1. Here I'll come, and now Lakehouse, I want to store the data. So here only I'll get to know store purpose. I'll go to the store. In the store I have this many options, but currently I'll create a Lakehouse. I'll just name as a Titanic data, and I'll just create the Lakehouse. So once I create the Lakehouse, this interface is similar to, I'll say, our SQL, like tables and DBO, all these things are showing. Currently there is a nothing but Lakehouse name. I can see it over here. I'll go here and I'll try to add the Lakehouse. Let's see it's showing or not. Okay, so here is showing a workspaces. This is the workspace December 2024. In that workspaces we have this Lakehouse which we recently created, Titanic. So on this Lakehouse I want to save that table which I pull from the get. Source is get. I'm doing a transformation using a data flow, and I'm saying into the destination which is nothing but a Lakehouse. So table name again I'll say Titanic underscore TBL. Okay, TBL underscore Titanic. This Titanic table, this is a table name which I'm saying. I'll say next. So these are all the columns and mapping are there. So I'm automatically doing this setting because in my data flow I done that transformation over here. I'll show you that one again. So after promoting, we are changing all the types of columns also. Like when I say the types of columns, before you can see here we have a number, but here is showing ABC. This is showing as a text. So I'll change this one into the whole number. So let's say I have a 5 columns, I can do manually for them. But let's say I have a hundreds of the column, and you will say actually I don't want to waste my time. I want smart work over here. So I'll just go here and detect the data type. I'll just simply click the detect the data type. See, 1 second, let me just delete this previous step. See here we have a two steps. When I say the detect the data types, additional steps will be get added. And observe this, if you see here I have a numbers, but type is showing as a text. when I say the detect the data types, it will convert into the number, and it will this number, this 1 2 3 will be shown in the right hand side corner, as same as a Excel, like how Excel we can see. If it is a text, it will show start with the left, and if it is a number, it will start with the right. Did you saw this one, this transformation, this ABC into the 1 2 3, and this was previously showing here, now it is here. So now this is I done only for this one particular column, but I want to do for all the columns. So I'll just say control A, sorry, control. Okay, this way I'll select, which is control shift and arrow, right hand side right arrow. This way I'll select the whichever columns I want. Sorry, I done something wrong. I'll just select one, and this way I'll say, or maybe I can say go like this also. This like this also I can select all the columns, and I'll just say I'll go to the transform and then say detect data type. So now all the columns are with the correct data type, and I'll publish this one. When I say the publish, nothing but a load, taking a data from one source, doing a transformation, and loading on another database. Where if here I am using a data lake, sorry, lake house. TBL Titanic. Save the settings and publish. Okay, when I publish, this is the data flow which I created. Now it is getting refresh, and this data output data is going to save on this lake house.